Have you noticed that you're tired all the time lately? You feel exhausted, you feel worn out, there's nothing left in the tank. It's just this feeling that keeps on coming back. And it's not just physically tired either, it's emotionally tired and mentally tired and job tired and responsibility tired. It's the kind of tired that you can't seem to fix just by sleeping more, and you get into this mode where everything feels harder and simple tasks feel overwhelming. And it's happening everywhere. It's happening with so many people. People everywhere are asking the question, why do I feel like I'm running on empty all the time? Where is this coming from? If that's you, I've got a message for you today. And the message is, I don't think it's got anything to do with being lazy or just being out of energy. I don't even think that you're burnt out in the traditional sense of how we understand that concept and that phrase. In fact, I think something much deeper is actually happening. We're living in a world and a time right now where we are all dealing with constant notifications. Our phone is buzzing and our laptop is beeping at us and our watch on our wrist is vibrating, and that's just the notifications of our data that's coming at us, let alone the endless responsibilities and the routine that seems to roll from one day to the next day to the next day, and it all becomes a blur. Put on top of that family pressure with marriage and partnership and children and the stress that they're going through. Put on top of that your work pressures where you're being relied on and expected to do this and that, and there's pressures on you and deadlines, and the general information overload that we're feeling in today's world, where just stuff is coming at us all the time. It's white noise, somebody labelled it years ago, but kind of feels even louder than that a lot of the time, if I'm being honest. And people feel like they're carrying the emotional weight of like 3 lifetimes all at once because of the pressure, the responsibility, the notifications, the demands, the cost of living, the expectations. It's so much all at once. And we need to take a moment to investigate the real causes, what's actually going on under the surface of all of this stuff, especially if you're feeling like this, whether it's all the time you feel this way or it comes and goes. Most of us, including me, are having an experience with this kind of pressure in today's world, and there's a few things that are actually causing us to feel this way because it's different to a generation ago. You know, when I was growing up, when I was a kid, people didn't talk the way we're talking like this. People didn't have seeming this amount of pressure. And so where is it coming from? What's the real cause? Well, number one, and first of all, we have got too much input and too much data coming at us all the time. We've all been talking about it with our friends. We've been trying to help each other. We've been contemplating whether or not all of our technology is actually helping us or harming us. Now, I think it's a bit of a mixture, to be honest. I think there are great advantages to our technology and our communication devices, but at the same time, there is an overload. And at times it feels like a tsunami of data and input that's coming at us all the time through our screens. What about this one? Number 2, we don't have time for reflection because of all of the pressures and the expectations and the information overload that we just talked about. We actually have squeezed our margins so much and filled up our diaries with so many things to do. We've lost the art of reflecting, stopping, being quiet, thinking about our day, getting our minds ready for our tomorrow. We don't have reflection time. Another cause of what's going on in this sense of feeling tired all the time, number 3 that I would point out, is this idea of emotional compounding. In other words, you wake up each new day kind of subconsciously aware of the fact that you didn't really get through processing and dealing with yesterday's stuff. And yesterday's stuff was compounded from the day before and the month before. And for some of you, you're actually carrying emotional baggage that's been compounding for years. And so we don't wake up with a clean slate of stuff to deal with. It's kind of carrying over like legacy, emotional stuff that we've got to process and deal with. And a fourth item that I'd probably point out when we talk about the cause is we've gotten disconnected from the true meaning of life. As I said a few moments ago, a generation or two ago seemed to have better handle grips on the idea of what life was all about. Simple things. Go to work and try to enjoy it. Provide for your family. Enjoy the simplicity of nice food. Have some great family time on the weekend, maybe kids' sport, maybe some walks in nature. Things were just simpler, and we have cluttered our lives with a whole lot of things that actually, when you really break it down, are trivial and not that important, and we've become disconnected from meaning and purpose. You know, I want to encourage you in this episode today that we actually can do something about this. We don't have to live as prisoners forever to this overwhelming sensation of, I'm just always tired and I feel like I'm going around and around in circles. The truth of the matter is that recovery from that mode is not just about resting a little more. It'd be nice if it was that simple, but it's not just that simple. You see, recovery is also about processing, it's about reflection, and a huge one that we've got to do better at, it's about reconnecting. What do I mean when I say reconnecting? It's about reconnecting with the people in our lives that we really care about, whose company we really enjoy, the people we really love, that close circle that everybody's got, reconnecting with them. It's also about reconnecting with nature, getting away from our screens, getting outside. It's about reconnecting with simplicity, taking away some of that clutter that we talked about and getting back to a simple program of what life is supposed to be about for us. You see, there's no golden one-size-fits-all kind of rule that's going to work. You need to live according to your own program of what is simple and what works. We also need less input. We need more reflection time. We need better boundaries and more intentional living. And as I said a moment ago, really getting in touch with, how do I want my life to go? What tempo do I want to live at? Instead of marching to the sound of everybody else's drumbeat, figuring out what works for you and committing to it, because we only get one shot at this. And so let me finish by saying, maybe you're not actually failing at this thing called life. Maybe you've actually just taken on board too much. You've onboarded stuff that other people said or suggested you should carry, and now you feel buried under the weight of that burden. Perhaps this is a great reminder today that you can and you ought to do something about that overwhelming tiredness. Take a half a step back, reevaluate, take audit of what you're doing, and set yourself a program that you actually are proud to own and that you can commit to.